hit the like and subscribe button right now or else you won't pass your prostate exam. Ask/Reddit by Reddit Habbits. If Covid-19 wasn't dominating the news right now, what would be some of the biggest stories be right now? Scientists found the first ever living animal, a parasite, that doesn't need oxygen to survive. This was in February. Our discovery confirms that adaptation to an anaerobic environment is not unique to single-celled eukaryotes, but has also evolved in a multicellular parasitic animal. Hence, H. salmonicola provides an opportunity for understanding the evolutionary transition from anaerobic to an exclusive anaerobic metabolism. When I suggested that extraterrestrial life could exist on a planet without oxygen due to them having different needs than human life, my year 9 science teacher suggested I was stupid and that all life needs oxygen to survive. Who's the stupid one now, Peter? Egypt and Ethiopia are close to going toward due to Ethiopia building a dam on the Nile River. Ethiopia is diverting some water and limiting water flow to Egypt. The Ethiopian government is refusing to honor previous agreements made that detail the rate at which they will fill the lake behind their dam, and they refuse to negotiate any further with the Egyptians. Does Ethiopia have the military strength to take on Egypt? I don't know much about Ethiopian military, but Egypt gets over $1 billion a year in military aid from the USA and have the largest standing army on the continent. Edit. Wow, this got a lot of attention. To clarify, I was talking hypothetically. As some good commenters have pointed out, an actual ground conflict between the two seems unlikely, as Egypt would have to either get the permission of Sudan and Sudan to move troops through their nations, or would have to invade them as well. Thanks for all the great responses. Nap. Egypt is second strongest Arab nation. Edit. It's Arab nation, not Arabic. I gotta stop scrolling Reddit after 2 AM. One of the main routes into downtown Seattle, the West Seattle Bridge, was closed yesterday because cracks in support beams made it structurally unsound. It will take several months to fix and will not reopen until it's done. This would normally destroy the entire Seattle commute, but it happened right now, so it's barely even a blip on the local news. Real talk, this was probably the best possible time for this to happen. Real talk, they likely knew about this for a long time and were waiting to find a time to close it. My new favorite conspiracy theory is that Covid-19 was created by the Municipal Transportation Authority in Seattle. Don't be ridiculous. The government actually created Covid-19 to keep people inside while they change the batteries on all the birds. The former king of Spain and his Swiss accounts. Wow. That is crazy. Seems like it's the perfect time to get away with whatever you want. Friend of mine works in accounting, and he said his company is planning on seeing a massive spike in fraud with all the bankruptcies expected to occur. People trying to sneak under the radar, so to speak. Not sure it's trying to sneak under the radar versus the jig being up. Like if I embezzled $1 million and things are going well with the company, I can cover it up. The accounts have $1 million less than what management thinks, but the business keeps operating. Suddenly a crisis hits. The company needs to spend that million, and there's no way I can conceal that it isn't there. Boom. Fraud detected. Astronomer here. We might have a bright naked eye comet next month in the northern hemisphere, our first since 1997. Comet C/2019 Atlas Y4 is brightening really quickly, and by May, might be one of the brightest things in the night sky. I mean, comets are notoriously tricky to predict in brightness, as it might just break apart as it gets closer to the sun. But it's really exciting to think about, albeit no one has heard about it because of the pandemic. Though granted, doesn't a pandemic need a bright comet? Edit. You might be able to get it in binoculars right now, or at least have fun trying. Here is a star chart for it. And yes, the last bright northern hemisphere great comet was Hale-Bopp, which was up for about a year to the naked eye. If you were a southern hemisphere resident in 2006, however, you probably remember Comet McNaught. Edit 2, because many are asking, that bright star in the evening sky is actually Venus. It's around its peak brightness and height right now, and you should go take a look if your social distancing allows it. Might as well take a break from Netflix and look at a whole "nother planet." Close bracket. Edit 3. No, there is no chance of the comet hitting us or affecting life on Earth beyond potentially getting bright. You know what? I'm really excited for this. Thank you for that information. I would hope the locusts plaguing East Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent. It's describing some swarms as being the size of New York, and they are eating their harvest, threatening widespread famine. I think without coronavirus we would mobilize to try to control this population the way we did for Zika carrying mosquitoes in the Americas. Edit. This NPR article describes how in 2018 an unfortunate series of cyclones from the Indian Ocean hit an extremely remote area of the Arabian Peninsula known as the Empty Quarter. This produced extraordinary rain and gave them what they needed to breed. Because a second cyclone hit occurred during their breeding cycle, instead of drying out and having most of their population die out in the desert, the population exploded. In favorable conditions they can multiply by 400x their population every 6 months. Then they mass migrated. Also for clarity, a swarm was identified as 3 times the size of New York City. I swear I remember hearing about some group readying up like 200k ducks to go fight the locusts. Cause one duck can eat like 150 locusts a day or something. I'll have to find a source. Edit. No idea how accurate this is, but it's from March 2nd. I've heard this story before. Next we are going to hear about the enormous swarm of ducks that's taking over Africa and India. Then someone's going to suggest deploying 200,000 badgers to eat the ducks. This could go on a while. The US government trying to pass an anti-child porn law that actually just gives them the ability to search through all of our messages. Edit. If you want to learn more about this act, here's a link to an article with some great information. And also bans end-to-end encryption. If you know anything about internet security you know that would be devastating to literally everything that's based online in any way whatsoever. Wait, what? Nobody would be allowed to use end-to-end encryption. Yep, which means that the government, and anyone who's decent at using computers, could get into any person or corporation's secrets if they are able to intercept a message. Normally it's not a problem because of end-to-end encryption. And if the government can, anyone can. Enthroom case in Korea. Telegram porno sexual slavery ring with 74 victims including underage girls. The Telegram groups has estimated at least 10 to 30,000 subscribers. The Enthroom perpetrators are accused of luring victims, including minors, into sending sexually explicit photos and videos. In some cases, this escalated to using blackmail to force victims into increasingly violent acts, including sexual assault. Absolutely disgusting. I'm surprised that this news didn't get bigger internationally. Edit. Reporters at Cookman Ilbo observed about 25,000 users across 30 such chat rooms. One of the guys in charge of the rooms has had his identity revealed and the rest, one other main guy and the people who participated, are being investigated as of right now. Reports are saying that a few high-profile celebrities, professors, and athletes are some of the 260k involved in the viewing and or distributing of the illegal contents, which is unsurprising considering the entrance fee to access these rooms were between $300 to $1,500. Hope justice is served and served well. Korean law is known to be very forgiving for sex crimes, so I hope things change with this. Edit 2. It's been recently reported that one of the youngest victim include one as young as 9 years old, 11 years old, and also an underage female idol/singer. That guy that was the second person ever to be cured of HIV. Technically that happened a long time ago. He's still cured, as was expected, like 3 years later. Bill Gates leaving Microsoft. Whoa. Bill Gates left Microsoft 12 days ago. I don't think it changes much. He was on the board, not running daily operations. I doubt they would ignore him if he made a suggestion, though. Yeah, not at all. The company will be perfectly fine without him, and I'm certain they will always listen if he comes back. If anything, it shows he feels the company is in great hands and that he can walk away. The nearly 2-year-long Ebola outbreak in the DRC has ended. The last patient to be treated has survived. Wow. I was worried about this a couple of months ago, but then the pandemic that must not be named took over my attention and I forgot about it. Incredibly brave people fighting Ebola. Such a scary disease. Yeah, the people that get out there to treat patients are some of the world's biggest heroes. I can't imagine how scary it must be to be living in a place with an Ebola outbreak going on. Thank God it's all over now. That was the last bit of positive news I got before all this started happening. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with our daily videos.